Welcome to the March 13th, 2020 Town Hall meeting for partners interested in feeding children in the event school is closed. My name is Diane Golzinski. I am the Child Nutrition Director for the state of Michigan. I will be your host today along with several experts from my team. This is our first webinar on this topic, but it will not be our last. We are anticipating holding 2 calls each week in the coming weeks to answer questions as you have them. Please watch your email for announcements of further town hall webinars like this. We okay? Okay. I would like to welcome State Superintendent Dr. Michael Rice today to welcome you to the call.
Good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you at this unusual, challenging moment in our state's history. Governor last night announced a 3-week school closure. We have to work together to figure out, to the maximum extent possible, how to feed our young people during this period of time. Dr. Diane Golzinski is going to talk with you about the details of a USDA waiver for which we've applied that would permit us to feed children in non-congregate ways, outside of schools, outside of cafeterias, grab and go, drive up and go, buses going through their regular routes instead of picking up children, dropping off food. Dr. Golzinski is going to share the details of this, but we rely on your tremendous work at the local school district level to make this happen. And we appreciate not only all that you've done up to this point, but all that you're going to do in this unusual 3-week circumstance. So thank you very much in advance.
Thank you, Dr. Rice. All participants have been muted upon entry to this webinar, and this webinar is being recorded. Please use the chat box to provide any questions you would like answered. We will do our best to get to all questions in the time we have available. If we do not get to your questions, please contact us at mde.schoolnutrition@michigan.gov and we will respond as soon as possible. Let me clarify that. That's mde-schoolnutrition@michigan.gov. Here at the Michigan Department of Education, we believe in assuring children have what they need to be successful in life. This includes staying safe and healthy. In the midst of our current situation, it is important that we remember why our federal child nutrition programs exist: to feed those most in need. Our programs keep children healthy through the food we offer every day, and our programs teach children how to maintain a lifelong healthy diet. In this time of unknowns and unique challenges, my team and I have pulled together a menu of options to assist all of you in caring for our youngest Michiganders. Whether school is closed due to a polar vortex or a public health crisis like this, we have options, and we would like to outline those options for you today. With the announcement from Governor Whitmer and Superintendent Rice last night, let's cover who can offer meals to children at this time. So I would like for everyone to hear me clearly. Everyone in the state of Michigan can be providing meals to children in schools through this program, and we will do what we can to help you to do that. In all cases, all meals will be served free to all children aged 18 and under, and will be reimbursed through your monthly meal claims, just as you would if school were in session. So if you are a sponsor and have participated in the Summer Food Service Program in 2018 or 2019, you have attended an unanticipated school closure webinar, and you will just need to complete a short intake form. We will be sending out a link to that form later today. Please do not log into GEMSMARS trying to find the form. We will send you a link to make it as easy as possible. We have suspended all monitoring requirements and all application requirements in MEGS Plus at this time. That link to that intake form will be all that is required. If you are a district where you have a site or sites where at least 50% of the children qualify for free or reduced price meals, but you have not participated in the summer food service program in the past year, 2 years, in addition to that webinar that you will need to watch and that intake form, you will need to watch the summer food service program training videos found on our website. That way, you can learn about the meal pattern and other record keeping requirements. Again, that link will be issued in that memo later today. Finally, if you are a district where all of your sites are under 50% free and reduced, and you've never been able to participate in the summer food service program, we want you to know that we will help you find a way to serve your kids who are in need. Like those previous groups, you will need to attend that unanticipated school closure webinar, complete the intake form, and watch the summer food service program training videos. We will consider you to be a closed enrolled site. This means where possible and practical, you will need to deliver or provide meals where free and reduced kids in your district primarily live. In other words, you'll need to target those low-income kids in ways that best reach and serve those children in need. The expected best practice is that you will serve these children using a roster or an enrolled student list. In cases where that is not possible, during this time of emergency only, we will accept the summer food service program count sheet. This is a friendly reminder to everyone to please mute your phones. Okay, so just to be sure we're all on the same page, one last time, everyone currently providing meals to children in schools can participate in this program, and we will help you to do that. In all cases, all meals will be served free of charge to all children ages 18 and under. Next, okay, a friendly reminder, please do not put your phones on hold, as that stops the ability to hear the call for others. All right, let's cover how often and in what ways you might consider offering these meals. First and foremost, you must remember that we want to prevent children from eating together at this time. That's called social distancing, and we have applied for that waiver to serve these meals in a non-congregate manner. No waivers are needed by local sponsors. We have done that as a state on your behalf. This provides an incredible amount of flexibility that we're not used to, so it's really difficult at this time to give you some best practices. Instead, my team and I have come up with some ideas that we have brainstormed that we think might work in order to help stimulate ideas for you. How you do this will really be determined by conversation that you have with your own administration in knowing your own communities. What will work for one community may not work for another community. We want you to think outside the box and find ways to assure children are not hungry at this time, all while maintaining program integrity to the very best of your ability. So some things that we want you to consider. First and foremost, work closely with your district administration, your local emergency manager, and your local public health department for proper hand washing, cleaning, and sanitizing techniques. All meals must be complete, reimbursable meals following the summer food service program meal pattern. 2 meals per day can be reimbursed. This might be breakfast and lunch, it might be breakfast and supper, or it might be a meal and a snack. The only thing it cannot be is lunch and supper. Meals may be freshly prepared, it may be meal components that make up a complete meal, or it may be shelf-stable products, and it may contain USDA foods or commodities. Meals may be reimbursed under this program starting today, March 13th, 2020. Where practical, consider offering multiple meals per day and/or multiple days at each time to reduce the number of times families must pick up the meals. Remember to count each and every meal that you provide to children. For example, I was on a call with Gleaners earlier today, and they are currently considering providing 10 days worth of meals at a single pickup. You might consider grab-and-go meals, a drive-through or a walk-up style setup, or even putting meals on a bus and delivering meals on your district bus routes where children or families only need to go to a bus stop to pick up what you are offering. If you choose to deliver using your district bus routes, please list the name of that bus route as a site on that intake form. Parents may pick up the food on behalf of their children, whether or not the children are present with them at that time, and no student ID is required. Please use your count sheets to track the number of meals you are providing. Please consider expanding your service times to allow for proper spacing of visitors to pick up the meals and minimize the number of times families must visit to pick up any food. For example, it likely isn't practical to have families come pick up breakfast and then come back to pick up lunch or supper. Please think through that as you're making your plans. If you have participated in the summer food service program using a mobile truck or a food truck, please consider repurposing those for this same idea. In all cases, we are expecting you to follow good, proper food safety and handling techniques. So with that, we'd like to answer your questions. Please put your questions in the chat box so that we can answer them for everyone.
You get it all?
The first question I have is, if your school district has participated in summer food service program but not the building that you want to use for unanticipated school closure, will you need to use a roster or use the summer checkoff sheets?
So if your district is eligible, if you have school buildings or sites within your community that are eligible to participate, the summer checkoff sheets may work in that area. If most of your district or your district is under that 50%, you will want to use the roster situation. And again, we want to remind everyone that the very nitty-gritty details will be on that webinar on Monday. So some of the very, very specifics you will have to get in that webinar. We have a lot more questions coming in.
The next question is, please repeat if 50% or below have not participated in the summer food service program. This program is available during this time of emergency to everyone wanting to feed kids at this time. If your site is under 50% free or reduced, we will consider you to be a closed enrolled site where you will need to use a roster sheet or a school enrollment sheet of some kind, if at all possible. In the worst case scenario, you will still use a summer food service checkoff sheet. So the next question is, we'd like to be able to provide breakfast for the next day at the same time. Yes, you can provide multiple meals at the same time for multiple days. We have a question. If spring break was set to be during this closure time, can meals still be claimed? Yes, we are waiving the requirement to not feed kids during spring break during this 3 weeks of closure. Question, for a single building district, such as a charter school with less than 50% free or reduced, is distribution at the school considered sufficient targeting of the free and reduced students?
We definitely want charter schools under 50% to be doing everything possible to feed kids that normally attend that school or may live in that community. Okay, we also want you to be reaching out to your communities, to your families. Do you normally do that with robocalls, with Facebook, with emails? How are you normally communicating that to your families? Use that type of communication in this situation as well to let everyone know how you are feeding kids.
There's a question about what reimbursement rate will be received. Currently, we are considering reimbursing all meals at the highest reimbursement rate. We know that there will be additional charges due to the different people who may be delivering food or the extra cost for shelf-stable food. We will certainly include that in the memo that goes out today once we have a definitive answer on that, but that's what we are currently considering. There's a question from a non-public school. Is this a mandated requirement as capabilities may not be possible? Certainly there is no mandate to do this. We are asking everyone to consider it. And if you don't consider it, to please work with your local public school, your local food bank, your local community action agency to find ways to assure the kids in your district or in your non-public school have access to meals, because we recognize that not everybody may be in need, but there still will be some kids in need who will go hungry during this time if we don't meet their needs.
Right. And another added note there, with limited resources or limited capabilities, we want to know what those are so we can help you work through them. Okay. I don't want anyone to think we can't do this because we're limited by something. We want to know what those things are. We want to work with you to figure that out.
I have a question.
Okay, we have a question. We are a local charter school who contracts through our local resident district. Can we share the same site for meal pickup as long as we track the number of students who are picking up from our school versus the resident school where it is being picked up? So I think I'm understanding this. You work with a local district. You may work with that district still to get food, and potentially either that school district would claim those meals or you would, depending on your very specific situation. So a couple of these questions we may need like a follow-up email or question. So depending on who is considering you a site, are you normally your own school food authority? Do you normally do your own claim, or does that school district claim on your behalf?
So there's a question about, I did not attend the unanticipated school closure training. We are offering another webinar on Monday afternoon, and that notice went out. If you didn't get that notice, please let us know, but we will also be recording that to make it as easy as possible. I don't want you to necessarily wait to feed kids. I do want you to know what the requirements are. So until that time, please watch those training videos to assure you know what the meal pattern is and what the requirement is in terms of record keeping, but then get to that video as soon as you can.
Okay, can we serve count meals that would be provided for weekends? Yes, you may serve on the weekends during this time period. So yeah, you can serve and definitely count those meals. Another question, if we offer grab and go at our main building, is that a certain time frame that we need to adhere to? That time frame, whatever works best for your local community, whatever makes sense for your districts, and as long as you are communicating that out to your families and your communities.
Yeah, we've waived any current time frame requirements. We just want you to meet the needs of the kids in your community and get those foods out.
Will we need the intake form need to be completed by today if serving meals on Monday. We'd like you to fill that out as soon as you have a plan in place. Go ahead and start filling that out. But if you're serving meals Monday at noon and you need to fill it out Monday at noon, that's what you do. And more information on the specifics with that form will be coming in the webinar.
Are meals claimed in the Summer Food Service Program or the National School Lunch Program? In this case, everything is considered the Summer Food Service Program. Officially, it's titled the Unanticipated School Closures portion of the Summer Food Service Program, but it is all Summer Food Service Program and Summer Food Service Program reimbursement rates.
Yep, another question, 10 days of meal service all on one day's checkoff sheet. So you will have to make sure that you have adequate documentation. So if you are serving multiple meals, we need to have that backup documentation that goes along with that if you're serving more than one meal at a time. So that can be your production record, that can be whatever additional documentation you have to show exactly what went out to each participant.
There's a question about flexibility in the meal pattern. Do we have to offer milk? The answer is yes. We must follow the Summer Food Service Program meal pattern. USDA has not provided us at this time with the ability to waive meal pattern requirements. So yes, if you offer multiple days worth of food, you will want to maybe consider shelf-stable milk if the fresh milk that you have to offer may not last that long. So there's lots of considerations there, but yes, you must follow the meal pattern. There's a question about offering meals on Saturday and Sunday. Again, we are waiving that requirement in the Summer Food Service Program, and we are allowing you to provide meals 7 days each week.
Where do I sign up for the unanticipated closure training? That again, it's a very similar format with what we're doing today. It's a Skype link that went out, and we will send that out again.
There's a question about serving adults and charging the adults for the meals, and that's an excellent question. Yes, you can continue to do that, and yes, you must charge the adults for those meals, unless you have some other way to pay for those meals. This program is for children ages 18 and under, and not for adults at this time. So please make sure that you're following that part of the program as closely as possible. And if you're providing meals for adults, you are either charging for those meals at cost, or you have some other way of covering those costs for those adults. We contract for our local ISD. They run their own buses. Can we provide the food, and will they do their own claiming?
So I guess that kind of depends. You contract for your local ISD as well. So if the local ISD is acting as its own school food authority, and if they are already doing their own claim, then they could continue doing that. You would need to work with them to work that out. There could also be a situation where they ask you to claim on their behalf. So some of those really nuanced situations are really up to local discretion, and it depends on your current situation and then what you are working out with your partners in your community. Does our CNP application need to be amended to include SFSP so we may file for reimbursement in mind? No. So normally there is a separate SFSP application in MEGS Plus. Normally, in this situation, we are having folks fill out a questionnaire, a quick form in another system, and that link will be going out. The unanticipated school closure SFSP webinar is on the SFSP website currently. So there is a webinar there currently.
There's a question about providing meals for multiple days. Do we have to pack each meal individually, or can they be distributed in bulk to each family? It's important to keep your documentation to demonstrate that you have fully met the SFSP meal pattern for each meal that you have distributed. From that point on, it will be up to you as to what is the best way to do that. I don't know about you, but I can't personally imagine a sandwich being pre-made and getting 14 different sandwiches to get me through 14 days. That kind of sounds gross. So certainly pack the bread and the meat separately, or however you might do that, but make sure you have documentation, production records, etc., to demonstrate that you have fully met the meal pattern requirements for those meals that you have distributed and counted as being distributed.
Right, and you also want to keep in mind that the food has to remain safe for whatever period you are, distributing. So 7 days of sandwich meat is not necessarily in line with food safety recommendations. Also check in with your local health authority.
There's a question about delivering meals via bus, and the parent comes to pick up the meals. The parent says they have 3 kids, so we give them 3 breakfasts and 3 lunches. And then we count 6 meals on the meal count form. That is correct. We are going to take them at their word as to how many kids they have at home. We are not going to ask them to bring IDs or proof in any way. We just at this time need to worry about doing the very best we can to get the food to the kids with the most program integrity we possibly can have. How many days of meals can we pack at a time? You can pack as many as you want that you believe will be able to be kept safe and be able to be served. I had a superintendent call right before this, and one superintendent wanted to send 21 days worth of meals home, and so that they could just deliver at one time. That's certainly your option. Just remember to keep food safety in mind, because we have to follow all food safety rules.
Yes, and at this time, we do want you to make sure that you are counting meals by meal type. Okay, so if you are distributing a breakfast and a lunch, we do need 1 breakfast count sheet and 1 lunch count sheet. Okay, just to make sure that those, so 1 for breakfast, 1 for lunch or supper.
Again, there's a question of claiming meals in NSLP or SFSP, and the answer is SFSP. The next question is the school closure webinar on the website now?
Yes.
And the answer is yes. The next question is what form do I need to complete so I can claim meals? I do not normally operate SFSP. Do I need to complete that application in MEGS Plus? The answer is no. Again, we have suspended the MEGS Plus application requirements. Later today, you will get a memo with a link to an intake form, and you just need to complete that intake form. It should take you 5 minutes or less to complete that form. We will use that form to generate a claim in Mind. So don't worry about Mind at this time. We'll be doing all of that behind the scenes. We will use that intake form to generate a proper claim so that you can claim those meals. There's a question about if we purchase shelf-stable meals from our food service management company, can we use excess funds to pay for these meals? Dan, that's an excellent question. I will get with Amy and get you an answer. Pardon me? Yeah.
Yeah, and we also have a couple bulletins that will be going out today, including one is on allowable costs.
What meal ideas do you have for these meals? Great question, Cindy.
Cindy, that is going to completely depend on the foods that you have on hand right now. If you ever operate like a grab and go breakfast situation, similar things that are easy to eat, but it really depends completely on the food that you have on hand at your school, at your district right now. So really anything at all that you can easily pack up and get out to families.
There's a question about the intake form. There will be a memo going out with a link to that intake form yet today. If we work with the local ISD and we do the claim, do we need to list that building as a site or each of their bus stops? If you are delivering via the bus stops, then you would list the bus stops. Bus routes, sorry, not the stops, because I can't imagine 30 stops being listed as a site. So we've asked for the bus route to be what you list in the intake form. I apologize that I said that incorrectly. So please list the bus route on the intake form. If you're serving from a building or another location where there's a parking lot or something like that, then that would be considered a site.
Yep, and we want to clarify the unanticipated school closure webinar training is not on the website. The link to Monday's webinar information
is on the website.
Gotcha. Yep.
Gotcha. All right, a question. If parents come with 2 of their 4 kids, do we feed 2 or 4 kids? If the parents tell you they have 4 kids, give them meals for 4 kids.
No, we do not have to see each child we are feeding.
Yep. Can we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the same day? No. You can serve 2 meals. It can be breakfast and lunch. It can be breakfast and supper. It can be supper and a snack. The only thing it cannot be is both lunch and supper.
If you would like to serve additional meals, you would have to have other separate funding for that, and you would have to document that.
Lots of questions about the intake form. Again, a link will be sent to the intake form. Please be patient. We're trying to get the systems up and running in the background, and as soon as we have it, then we will send you the link to the form. If we do not want to participate, can we give a list of local summer food folks who are participating? Certainly. Again, there's no requirement that you participate. We are asking you to seriously consider, though, that there will be kids in your district who are hungry. So please help those families get to these meal resources. Help to make sure that no one falls through the cracks during this time.
Right. And if you don't want to participate, again, we want to know why, and we want to smooth through any roadblocks in your way there. We have another question there. Is it okay to ask people to sign up for boxes of food so we know how many to make up? It is definitely okay to, let families know. Please let us know if you're interested. Please let us know if you're coming. You cannot mandate that. That's the difference there. You can definitely ask if that's, who's interested, who's coming, so you have a rough idea, but it is not okay to mandate that.
There's a question, can a non-public school send out an email to see if there is need in our small community? Certainly, that is one way to find out, and then you can make decisions from that at that time. There's a question from Kalamazoo. Our spring break is outside of the 3-week period. For planning and sharing of information to parents, can we serve meals during spring break and get reimbursed? The recommendation at this time is not to have kids out of school for more than this 3-week period. You should have heard from Dr. Rice that the governor has asked that you reconsider where your spring break falls, if it falls outside of this 3-week period. If the spring break falls outside of this 3-week period, you choose to not go back to school when the governor has other schools going back, then no, we cannot reimburse meals served during spring break. If your spring break falls during a time in which the governor has schools closed, then yes, we are waiving that requirement and allowing reimbursement for all meals served during spring break. There's a question. Are the bus routes reimbursed if using transportation? The reimbursement rate is per meal, and that per meal reimbursement rate is designed to cover all of your costs. The costs of pickup and delivery of food, the costs of preparing and assembling the packages, the costs of the staff needed to make that happen. We do not have a separate line item or ability to reimburse transportation or staffing costs outside of that reimbursement rate. That's why we are going to reimburse at the highest reimbursement rate available to us so that you have additional funds to cover those costs. I'm going to say that again. We have made the decision to reimburse at the highest reimbursement rate available to us by the USDA. Where can I find the meal component requirements? Certainly within those training videos on the Summer Food Service Summer Food Service Program website, and also within that webinar, you will get all of those types of details. If a site is eligible based on census data during the last year, is the site also eligible for open enrollment even if the school is below 50% free or reduced?
Yes, the answer is yes. Yep, census data or free and reduced data.
Yeah,
that's right.
Here's a question. Would it help if manufacturers provided you with a list of shelf-stable and thaw and serve items to help at this time? Certainly, we could work with our manufacturers and our industry partners to do that. We are looking at having a webinar just for our industry partners to try to work through whatever challenges they may be having or other ways that we can help them. On a conference call earlier, I was told that Cedar Crest Dairy is overflooded with milk due to the number of school districts who have canceled their milk orders, and they are offering to help anyone who needs to have milk at this time so that they can get that milk out and not have to dispose of it. That's the type of thing that we will cover during those twice-a-week webinars that we will start holding next week. So there's a question, if we do several days at a time and we run out, can we be held accountable?
Not exactly sure what you mean there. So a lot of different ideas that have been tossed around for serving several days meals at a time. If districts are doing bus route ideas, maybe 7 routes, 7 different days. You on each day do one different bus route and just loop that around. When we're thinking several days at a time, it would be you distribute on 2 days of food on Monday, and then on Wednesday another 2 days of food. On Friday another 2 days of food. That's the type of thing we're talking about. If you have any clarifying thoughts to that question, please go ahead and type them in.
There's a question about opening up the webinar for the training. Right now there's only a list of signing up for the training. That is correct. We have not provided the training yet. It will be Monday afternoon, and it will be recorded and then provided. That was the fastest that we could pull it together for everyone. But again, please start serving the kids, and we will work through those details.
The SFSP will allow for participation greater than the school's enrollment to be claimed for reimbursement. Yes, Dan. So with the Summer Food Service Program, when we're looking at feeding communities, we're looking at not necessarily only a school building's enrollment. We are looking at, how many kids in the area can you feed? So the normal caps that we talk about during SNP or even with the regular SFSP, during this time would not apply.
Question about feeding full pay students and claiming them. Remember, all students age 18 and under are free in this program. So if they're normally a paid kid and they come to you for a meal, we are not going to deny them a meal. We are going to provide them with the same meals as everyone else.
And if we have a roster situation, if I'm a school that normally, would not normally participate, so I'm using a roster, we are not identifying to anyone who may be a free, reduced, or paid category normally. We just say, here's your meal, have a wonderful day, and we check the student's name off the list. If there are other kids that need a meal who are not normally at that school, we may be doing some hash marks to keep track of the total other meals that are served. We will not ever be identifying kids as normally having a free, reduced, or paid meal. We are feeding all of the kids here.
There's a question about not having attended the training. Can we start serving kids? Yes. Serve the kids. Get to the training on Monday or as soon as possible. Do your best to keep the integrity of the program. But yes, please start serving kids. An excellent question. How do we plan for kids with allergies? You should know who the kids are in your district who have allergies, and you should prepare meals that would be safe for them, and then have those kids identify themselves as needing that special meal so you can provide it to them, whether you know what bus route they might be on and you would put it on that bus so that it gets to them, or during pickup, make sure that it is identified during pickup so that we can be sure that their dietary needs are met. Civil rights laws require that we still meet their special dietary needs even during this time.
Is it safe to assume if we had an open site last year, it will be approved as an open site this year? Do we need to wait for an approval from MDE? No, we are taking intake forms. This will not be through for this emergency. We are not working through MEGS Plus with our typical wait 72 hours. We are not doing that in this emergency. Can we give them meals that need warmed up at home, like a chicken sandwich? We have to be providing food that is ready to eat, or shelf stable. We cannot be providing
meals that need further cooking.
Yeah, meals that need further cooking. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
I think that's really going to be a local health department question, but I don't see that as something that's a good idea.
If you have, you may definitely direct that to your local health department. And I do want everyone to also know this is completely separate from the 2022 SFSP application that is currently available. Okay, that 2020 SFSP application is for the upcoming summer, not this emergency. So that application will continue to follow all regular summer program regulations. This right here is a separate situation. Okay, a couple more questions. If one of our schools is an SFSP school, can other schools in the district be a site and use the SFSP count sheet? Yes, that should be fine. We mentioned that earlier in the call. Again, additional details on the SFSP training on Monday. But if you're a district that has some schools that are fully eligible for the program, and you have an enrollment area, we call it, that could be considered eligible, yes, go ahead and use the count sheet.
Question from Shelby, can we cook and cool the meals to send, like the chicken patties? I would see that as long as they could eat the chicken patty cold then and not be required to reheat it. But again, that's something to really talk to your local health department about. There's a question about, is any gathering prohibited, such as a small group of 20 students or less spread out in a room? Does it have to be grab and go or delivery? At this time, we're really trying to limit any gatherings. That's why we're asking for the grab and go or the drive-through style or the pick up and go type of delivery. But that's, again, something you'd have to work through your local emergency manager with. Oh, yeah, no, wait, that's it. You answered that.
Which one?
Okay, that one.
If
Okay.
If you are the director at two different districts and one is SFSP and one is not, can we streamline to make both districts operate the same way without using a roster at the district that is not SFSP? So if you have a district that is normally not census eligible or not eligible using free and reduced price data, that's what we referred to earlier with considering that closed enrolled and using rosters. There may be an opportunity to collaborate operations and work with the two districts to claim one as another, but one under the other. But please listen into that call on Monday. Some of the questions, like that one in particular, working with neighboring districts and things, we may need to wait for that call on Monday.
With that, we're going to need to stop this particular webinar so we can prepare for the 2 o'clock one. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. I do hope you have found this to be helpful in guiding ways to serve your children in this time where none of us have ever experienced this kind of thing before. Please remember the purpose of these programs, the children they were meant to serve, and why, as we go through this very challenging time together. Please remember my staff and I are here to assist you. Call us and email us, and we will get together and answer your questions as fast as we possibly can. We have pulled all analysts from the field so that you can spend your time planning for serving children rather than preparing for a compliance review. We are here for you. Please take care, work with your local health department, and stay safe. Thank you, everyone.